So welcome all. Just find your way to the top of your mat. We'll begin our practice here. We'll take a few moments just to help settle in. You can do that by taking a few deep breaths. Nice full inhale and a complete exhale. Nice release. Another nice full breath in and exhale. Just helping the body to settle, your mind to settle, so you can fully arrive. Be here. And just continue with slow, steady breaths. Creating a strong foundation for yourself. You might even notice your feet on your mat, feeling grounded, connected. As you take a breath in, feel that energy move through your body. With your exhale, just imagine that energy is moving all the way right down to your legs, into your feet. So you feel this sense of grounding. Be here. Steady breaths. Breath allows you to be here in the moment, in stillness. And soon breath will help guide you and support you in your moving practice. And like with all of our classes, remembering that it's your practice. This is your practice. So move in a way that you need to move today. Take your time. Don't have to go too quickly. Modify any poses. And certainly feel free to rest at any time. Continuing with breath. Another inhale, filling up the lungs, a nice expansive breath. On this exhale, as you're able, draw your belly button in towards your spine, a little pull sensation at your belly. This is the abdominal lock. A sense of support, connection. It helps support you and guide you and move you in your practice. One more time, a nice full breath in, feeling breath rise, feel the lengthening of your spine, filling up your lungs, and the exhale, that light contraction of your abdominal muscles. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Prepare your body to move. And when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. You just take your time, nice full stretch, reach all the way up. And exhale, we'll fold forward, a good hinge from your hips, bend your knees as much as you need to, good. And just carefully and slowly make your way down. You might touch your toes, but you don't have to touch your toes here. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or your knees, only rise up halfway, elongating through the spine, creating a flat back. On the exhale, either stay here or slowly slide back down towards toes. You can stop at any point. Maybe your hands land at your shins or ankles. Again, you might touch your toes, but you don't have to. And just notice how this feels, wherever you are in your posture, the sensations that are arising. You have that nice stretch in your hamstrings. Feel the natural curve of your spine, even a lengthening, even some stretching perhaps down through the back body. 2 more breaths. Let's return to a halfway lift. So just inhale and slide your hands up to shins or knees, elongating through the spine. Pause here for a moment so we're at a flat back. Maybe looking at your feet, being sure you feel strongly planted into the earth, just as you were in mountain pose. A slight bend in the knees, nice long spine. And from here, we'll continue standing. First, shift your weight into your heels, bend your knees to lower your hips, lift upper body, then extend your arms out, then up as you rise. Inhale, reaching into the air. In the exhale, you can bring your hands together and down to your heart, or you can bring your arms down to your side, either one. Just pause for a moment. Just return to your breath. That's our half salute to the sun. Let's just repeat that. Inhale, reaching out and up. Feel that lengthening through the sides of your body. Yes, exhale, lead with your heart, fold forward. You might even feel like you're sitting back into a chair. As you get lower, your belly might touch your thighs. Releasing hands towards the floor and even release your head. Inhale, rise up halfway, sliding hands up the legs to that flat tabletop posture. Exhale, melt your way back down, releasing completely perhaps. And again, the weight shift into your heels, bend your knees to lower your hips, lift upper body. We're standing up, extend arms out and up as you inhale, reach up, big stretch, yes. Exhale, hands to heart or arms down to your side. Again, our half salute to the sun, just adding movement to the movement of our breath. Let's continue with our full sun salute, again, moving at your own pace. Here we go, inhale, reaching into the sky. Energy in your hands and fingers. Exhale, fold forward, taking your time. Let's inhale, rise up halfway. Sometimes I call this monkey pose or half forward fold. Exhale all the way down, slide down, bend the knees enough so you can place your hands on your mat out in front of you, perhaps near the top edge of your mat, and walk or step the feet to the back end of your mat. Let's pause here for a moment in plank pose. Nice strong position for the entire body. Strength and length here. Let's take a breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air while your head and chest sink naturally between the arms, and you'll be in downward facing dog. If as needed, make some adjustments with your feet, maybe even your hands, to help settle into your pose. As you arrive here, you can just be here in stillness and with breath, or feel free to add movement. You might pedal your feet, press one heel down as the other heel lifts, and just notice these sensations you're creating. A stretch in your toes, maybe your calves, and other parts of your body. If your hands or elbows get fatigued, just come down to your knees. Let's prepare the body to move. Another nice full breath in, filling up your lungs. With the exhale, bend your knees, walk, step, or hop. Both feet return to the top of your mat. You'll be in forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. Half forward fold, monkey pose. Exhale, fold again. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Let's inhale and come all the way back up to standing. Extended mountain pose as you reach into the sky. Keep it moving. On this exhale, take chair pose. Sitting back and down into an imaginary seat. A weight shift back into the hips and heels. Inhale to help extend through the arms and spine. Exhale, dive out of your chair down towards toes, forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. Feel the top of your head lead you forward. And the exhale, fold all the way down. Plant your hands into your mat. Hop, step, or walk your feet back into plank pose. Another pause right here. Now, the first time we took a shortcut to down dog, you can do the exact same thing here, or finish your push-up. Bend your elbows, lower your way down. You can even bring knees to the floor first, then your chest if you'd like. Find a back bend with your inhale. It could be a low cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, moving into downward facing dog. Whatever flow you take, we'll always meet in down dog. Making some adjustments with your feet and hands, and then we'll continue with the lunge. Inhale, extend your right leg up behind you, finding the wall behind you. Exhale it, step right foot to the top of the mat. Let it land behind the right hand. That's good. Turn your left heel to the floor behind you, shifting your weight back into that foot so you have some good balance between your feet. Hands are light. You can easily lift them off the floor. Reach forward. Hinge your way up. Let's pause here for a moment in Warrior One. Nice extension of the arms up. They can be out. They can be bent. Exhale to kind of lunge, getting into the legs. Nice knee bend in front. Good. That left leg is kind of turned outward. Getting a little stretch in the hip flexor, perhaps upper thigh. Let's inhale here. Exhale, hinge and fold. Bring your hands back down to the floor. Slide right foot back, plank pose. Again, shortcut to down dog, or move through a series of postures, perhaps Chaturanga Dandasana, the bottom of the push-up, upward facing dog, or any other back bend, and exhale, downward facing dog. Take your time. Pause, rest whenever you need to. And now the other side. Inhale, extending left leg up and away. Reach, yes. Then exhale, step left foot to the top of the mat. Take your time to get there. Get it in place. Turn right heel to the floor, shifting the weight back. Find balance. Reaching forward, rising up. Find yourself in the posture. Keep extending, reaching into the air. Nice lunge. Check in with alignment, knee right over ankle pointing forward, right leg slightly turned out. There's our warrior one. Inhale here. And exhale, fold. Hands return to the earth. Slide left foot back to meet the other. Finish the sequence as you like. It might be different every time, which is fine. Taking a shortcut or a series of poses to get you to downward facing dog. A nice full breath in. Exhale, bend knees, walk, step, or hop. Both feet return to the top of the mat. You'll be in forward fold. Inhale, straight spine, long spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Again, feel the natural curve of the spine. Release your head and neck. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Let's inhale, come up to standing, reaching into the air. And exhale, hands to heart or arms down to your side. Good. Just a quick check-in, how you're feeling after those series of movements, warming up the body a little bit. Yeah, a little movement of the shoulders, neck. Even just a quick assessment of the rest of the body, hips, knees, ankles, feet, and toes. We'll continue our flow. Inhale, reaching into the air. Exhale, fold forward. Good control there, nice. Inhale, rise up halfway to a flat back. Exhale, fold, bent knees, hands to the ground out in front of you. Walk or step or even hop the feet back. Plank pose. Come down if you'd like. Chaturanga Dandasana. Modify that if you need to, or skip it completely. Up dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Arriving in your pose, stepping into place. Next lunge series. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Hold for a moment, keep reaching, get longer as you're able. Let's open the hip by bending the right knee, bring your heel down towards your backside. That's it. Lifting the knee slightly, you might feel the hip kind of turn or open towards the right side of the room. Make sure your hands are pressing strongly into the earth. Arms are straight and strong. Breathe in. Exhale, unwind, step through. Right foot to the top of the mat. Once you've landed, got it in place, turn left heel to the floor, find your center and balance, and then rise up. Take your time with that. Your exhale, opening up to the left side of the room. Arms come down to parallel. Warrior two. Yes, you might naturally need to adjust your feet so you have a good, strong foundation underneath you, good balance. Nice. Outstretched arms, there's our warrior two. Good. Our side angle pose, just follow your right arm forward a bit with an angled upper body, then rotate the arms, reaching down with the right hand, left hand reaching up. I tend to stay up high in this pose. You're certainly welcome to do so, okay? Or you might be going a little lower, hand or fingers might touch the ground, or bring in a block. Let that act as your floor. There it is, good. Take a breath in. Exhale, turn and fold, hands return to the earth. Slide that right foot back, plank pose. Complete the series as you'd like. Always appropriate just to take the shortcut. Right into downward facing dog. Good, nice flow. Take your time. When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg up and away, reaching for the back wall, straight line initially, and then bend your left knee, heel down towards back side. Lifting the knee slightly so you feel that little turn, a little twist, opening up to the left side of the room. Again, hands pressed strongly into the earth. Strong supportive arms. Inhale. Exhale to unwind and step through. Left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel to the earth. Find balance, then rise. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, opening to the right side of the room. Here's our warrior two. Adjusting the feet. One thing I know I have to do, that back foot kind of needs to turn out. That's me. So I have that continued opening and space in the hip. We do want to check in with your joints, your hips, knees, ankles. Make sure there's space. Here comes side angle. Follow the left arm forward, angled upper body. Rotate the arms. Reach high and low. Remember, it's okay to stay up high in this pose. If you're up a little higher, maybe your left arm is braced against the inner left leg. It just helps with the alignment and opening of that leg. Good extension through the right arm. You've got it. Here we go. Breathe in. And our exhale to move. Here we go. Turn, fold, hands to the earth, slide left foot back, plank pose, and finish the series. And we'll meet together in downward facing dog. We're going to do some floor work, so gently kneel down. Sit back briefly in hero pose, and then off to the side so you can swing the legs out in front of you here. We are going to lie down, so you might need to scoot forward, make space behind you. Go ahead and roll down onto your back and draw your knees in. Take a moment to get reacquainted with the breathing. Add some movement if it feels good, so it might be your movement of the hips, getting into your back body, your hips, even a little circle of the feet. If you circle the feet, make sure you circle in both directions. Even flex the feet, point your toes. We're going to move into bridge pose, but our practice today is going to actually focus on pigeon pose and variations of pigeon. So we'll start with our bridge. Just plant the feet into the ground. Nice solid connection to the ground, just as you were in mountain pose. Take a breath in, filling up your lungs. In the exhale, peeling the hips up away from the floor. You can just lift a little bit. If you'd like, you can even slide a block underneath you and sit on the block for a more supported back bend sensation, or sit in your hands, or just continue lifting. Now you may rock your upper body left and right several times to get your arms and shoulders a bit underneath you, just to create a little bit this more of an opening sensation through the chest. And to support the upper body, bend your elbows so your arms are at 90 degrees, so you can press the backs of your arms down into the floor. And see if that helps support the lifting and opening upper body. 2 more breaths, noticing the sensations you're creating in your body in this heart-opening pose. After that second breath, just start to soften. Wiggle the feet forward a little bit. Extend your arms straight up into the air to release the shoulders out from underneath you, and now roll your way down to the ground. Nice soft landing, and once you have landed, extend your arms behind you, extend your legs out in front of you, and actively stretch in these opposite directions. So our first variation of pigeon will be here, reclining pigeon pose. So just bring your arms down by your side, bend your knees, plant your feet as if we're going to move into bridge pose again, but we're not. Okay, just bent knees, feet on the floor. Just settle into your mat for a moment. We call this reclining pigeon, but the more formal name is eye of the needle pose. So you're going to keep your right foot on the floor, pick up your left foot and cross this left ankle over right thigh. So you're just crossing the leg here. A light flex in that left foot so it remains active. Now this, just like this, might feel complete, and you can stay just like this, or pick up the right foot, draw the legs towards yourself. This is where you thread the needle. Your left hand and arm becomes the thread, and so just go right in between the legs there. You might clasp your fingers around the right shin or the right hamstrings to hold on. Now you can gauge the intensity of this. The closer the legs come to the upper body, perhaps more sensation. And of course, sending them away, less sensation. So just find where you want to be in this hip opening posture. We're going to add a few things if you'd like. They're really just optional. You can stay just like this. If you want, maybe even extending the right leg up into the air. A light flex of the right foot. The heel is reaching for the ceiling, perhaps. Yes. Just an option. Another thing you can do, just to get a little core activation, with an exhale, lift your head and the back, your upper back off the floor. Your shoulder blade's going to come off the floor, rising up towards the legs. You don't have to hold that. You can go right back down. Just different sensations to play with. Go ahead and bend your right knee so we can bring the foot back down to the ground. Uncross the left leg. Plant the feet and just relax. Just notice that shift from the active body from that pose to a little bit more relaxed right here in our bridge pose prep. Take a breath or two. Preparing for the other side, we'll just keep the left foot planted, cross right ankle over left thigh, little light flex of that foot to keep it active. Again, check in. If this feels good, stay here. Or pick up left foot, draw the legs towards yourself. Thread the needle with the right arm. Clasp fingers around left shin or hamstrings. Find the sensation that's correct for you. Breathe into it. Breathe with it. You can play with a little bit more intensity for a few seconds and then release that. Even try rocking left and right to see if that changes anything. And those other optional movements, extending the left leg up if you'd like, a light flex of that foot, heel reaching for ceiling, with an exhale lifting head and your upper back off the floor, up towards those legs. Nice. Releasing, coming back down. Completing the pose, we'll set that left foot back down onto the ground. Uncross right leg, plant the feet. Take a breath. Settle in. Feeling that change from an engaged body to a disengaged body. Just relaxing for a moment. From here, moving into boat pose. So feel free to bring knees into chest. You can rock your way up to seated or roll to your side and press yourself up to seated if that feels better for you today. And then come to your boat pose. And of course, one way I like to start with boat is with heels on the floor, bent knees holding on to the legs, lifting up to ensure a straight spine, and inhale to get that straight spine. Exhale through the mouth to get the air to leave the belly to help engage the core muscles, the abdominal muscle, and then just lean back a little bit. And even here could be the end of the posture. Very strong sensation. Now, of course, you can keep leaning back. Start walking your heels towards yourself, pretty close, really to the point where you disengage your hip flexors. Just check in to feel if your upper legs feel engaged. You can bend the knees more, still feel engaged, but in your core, keep leaning back and the heels will just lift. Then you can start some extensions, lifting to here or straighter legs, holding on or freeing the hands. Lots of variations. Let's move from here. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs if you can, hands in front or even to the side so you can get your feet and legs back behind you, plank pose. Nice strong straight line here. We'll take a shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees, hips to sky, head and chest sink. We're going to go back to standing. Breathe in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop both feet up to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, extend through spine. Fold again. Weight shift into the heels, bend your knees. Here we go. Inhale, rising up all the way. Reach for the ceiling. And exhale, go ahead and bring your arms down to your side. Good. Let's check in with shoulders again. Exaggerate this circle here. Big circles backward a few times. And then forward. Good. And then just any other part of your body you just need to kind of check in with. We're going to do tree pose here, tree pose. A little balancing posture. Nice hip opener as well. So let's start grounded on 2 feet, mountain pose, yeah. Softness in the knees, we're not locked in the knees, so a little bend in the knees is good. Shift your weight into your right foot. Then inhale, get tall. Nice lengthened spine. There it is. Exhale, draw belly in, engage. like boat. Then we're ready to pick up the left foot, flexing the foot perhaps, so everything's nice and active here. Thigh is parallel to the floor. We're just going to swing this out until it naturally stops. It might be right there. You want the hips to remain facing forward. And then placing the foot on the inside of your standing leg. It can be here. You can hold on to it if you need to. You can certainly take it lower, below the knee, or even use the ground if you need a little extra stability. Once you're in place here, let's inhale, extend arms up, okay? So reaching up, growing tall, energy through your fingers, crown of your head, and even rooting down into your right foot into the earth. Okay? Breathing for that extension in both directions. Exhale, still connecting to core body, center, like boat. Yeah, and this is our hip opener, certainly a balancing posture as well. There you go. Okay, keep arms as they are. Let's swing this left knee forward, lifting the knee with the flexed foot, plant the foot into the ground, rebalance on 2 feet, then you bring your arms back down to your side, and then shake that loose. Arms, that foot you were just standing on. Okay, yeah. Nice. And when you're ready, just come back to mountain pose. Setting up for the other side. Softness in the knees, shifting weight over into your left foot. Inhale to get tall. Exhale, core connection. You're good. Picking up right foot. Yes. Flexing the foot strong all the way through. Nice right angle as it swings open like a door. Hips are square. Placing foot on the inside of your standing leg. Use the floor if you need to. No worries. Another thing you could do, maybe a block. If you don't want the foot all the way down there, maybe I call this a pedestal. Something like that is good. Inhale, extend your arms into the sky, growing tall, reaching, active hands and fingers. Crown of your head feels like it's being lifted into the air. Good. Rooted into the earth. You're moving in opposite directions. That's what yoga is all about. We're just moving in these opposite directions all the time. Core connection and finding our center. Focus is forward or slightly downward. Nice, everybody. Keep arms extended. Let's swing this right knee forward. Lifting knee, flexed foot, no worries. Plant the foot into the ground. Rebalance on 2 feet. And then bring your arms down to your side. Done with that. Shake it loose. Let it go. The door is open. It can just right out the door. Right, back to our mountain pose. Ready to continue our flow. Inhale, reaching into the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward. Always okay to bend your knees as you fold. Inhale, rise up halfway, flat back, monkey pose. Exhale, fold, bend the knees more, plant the hands, hop or step, feet back into plank pose. Come down if you'd like to, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we're actually going to break down our back bends here for a moment. So shift your way back out to plank pose. Okay, just going to shift to plank right here. And then make your way all the way down to your belly. You can bring your knees to the floor first, then your belly, and then your chest. We're going to do a low cobra. So lie flat here for a moment. Just be sure your legs are straight. Point your toes behind you. Even feel like you're trying to reach for the wall behind you with your toes. Keep your hands as they are, but you might spread out your fingers. Grip your mat with your fingers. And as you inhale, pull, like you're trying to drag yourself forward. At the same time, you're trying to reach through your toes to the back wall. That's our inhale. Remember, we're moving in opposite directions. On the exhale, just push into the floor and start lifting chest a little bit off the floor, not much. Right here. Inhale. And exhale, carefully melt your way back down. Okay, we're going to go a little higher. You're going to step your hands back a little bit because we want our elbows to be over the wrists. That will give us a little bit more leverage for an up dog. Same thing, grip your mat with your fingers, pull, and also with that pulling, roll the shoulders away from the floor and squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Feel that activation of your upper back. Inhale, get long again like you're pulling. On the exhale, push down into the floor with the hands, lifting your body. You're basically just straightening your arms, but the elbows might stay bent. That's fine. Or to continue until they're fully straight. And just kind of tip so your heart is looking forward. You're looking forward. right there. Now the more you go, you're gonna get more of that back bend. Keep pushing down into the floor. Feel like you're pulling forward. If your knees are on the floor, that's fine, but you could push or press the tops of your feet into the ground to lift your knees off the floor. You can even create more of a back bend only if that feels good. Breathe in. On the exhale, maybe set the knees down, tuck your toes. Actually, don't tuck your toes. We're going to sit back into child's pose here. Sit back so we can rest the body. You can start with your arms extended out front. They can stay there or change your arm posture. You might even just bring them down alongside your body. All right, so we broke down a couple of back bends there, that low cobra, that up dog. Okay, there's that sensation of being pulled or drawn or moving in opposite directions, feet and toes towards the back, your heart and head moving forward, creating that length, creating more space in the body. As we were lifting up into those back bends, still sending the heart forward. So the more of that forward motion we create, even in the back bend, we're releasing, hopefully, that tension that can build in the low back. 2 more breaths. In slow motion, rise up to hands and knees. Let's move through a series of cat and cow, starting with cow. It's an inhale, creating the back bend, tipping the pelvis back, belly drops, heart opens, there's our arched back. Exhale, tuck pelvis under, feel the belly button pull up towards spine, rounded spine, chin to chest, cat. Inhale, pelvis tips back, belly drops, heart opens, there's your back bend. Exhale, round it out. And just keep flowing and moving. Nice undulation of the spine, rocking of that pelvis, just opening up more spaces. Even though your arms aren't moving, you're opening up the shoulders here too. With that exhale into cat pose, draw belly button up towards spine. It's another way of engaging there, just like boat. Alrighty. Now on your next inhale, move into cow. Exhale into cat, tuck toes. Once you're in cat and completed the exhale, or towards the end of that exhale, lift your knees off the floor, send your hips into the sky. Now we're in downward facing dog. Nice long spine here. New lunge series. Inhale, extend right leg straight up and back. Hold for a moment. Continue moving in these opposite directions, reaching for that back wall through the foot. Hands root into the floor, even the crown of your head pointing towards the floor. Inhale. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. We're going to a high lunge this time. So left heel stays lifted, shifting your weight back towards that lifted heel. Find center so you can free your hands, reach out, rise up. Activated by keep reaching high, lunging low. Good. I'm just breaking my arm pose for a moment. Again, right knee and toes are pointing forward. The deeper this lunge here, you're getting a hip flexor stretch. And because we're kind of tall, you're kind of in a back bend. So just be mindful of that. We're going to create more sensation with this. All right. Keep reaching up as if you're going up, but we're not. But keep reaching up as high as you can, but we're going to go down. Bend this left knee. Keep reaching up until you lightly land right there. Bring hands to your thigh. Okay. Maybe to the top of the foot behind you. You can keep them tucked if you want to. Okay. Right now we're at a 90-degree angle, but we're going to lunge forward. But we're going to change this. So shift your weight back so you can get the weight off this front foot and move this front foot forward as far as you want to, really, because we're going to lunge forward. Now you might want a block for this. So have your block ready. I can grab you a block if you don't have one. So from here, maybe just resting hands on thigh. Inhale, get as tall as you can. And exhale, moving hips forward. That's going to naturally shift that knee forward. So it keeps this alignment here. Okay? As we go forward, we get into that deeper hip flexor stretch. Now, if you're nice and tall, and staying tall as possible, we're in a back bend. You can even go back more or lunge more. Okay? You may have sensation back here at the low back. If you don't want that, lean forward. You can even rest your forearms on your thigh, okay? Getting into this front leg for strength, left hip flexor for that stretch. You can go even lower. This is where your block might come in handy. You can go a little lower. But if to go even deeper for me, you might want to kind of heel toe this right foot out to the side. Your knee will point out at an angle. You might notice the hips just really open up for you. And you kind of sink into that. But just be mindful, okay, about taking that deep stretch. Okay? I'm pretty flexible in my right leg at least, and it's easy for me to go pretty deep into that, but my body doesn't really like it. Okay? Even though I can, doesn't mean I have to do that or need to do that. Okay? So for me, a more functional place is actually up here, maintaining the strength, but getting the stretch that I need. Okay? So just be listening to your body. Just listen if you, am I overstretching? Am I going too far? Okay? Okay, especially if you're flexible. Okay, sometimes we don't have to go into that full expression. 2 more breaths. So it could be, maybe it's something like this today. Okay, if your elbows are on the floor, or if you're up high like I am at the moment, let's all just come to the hands on the floor here, because you're going to lean way off to your left side. So you can bring this right foot and leg back behind you, so you can just return to your hands and knees. That's all. Okay, another series of cat and cow. Just to realign the body and get into your spine and hips. Just a few of these. All right, next inhale will be a cow. Exhale into cat with tucked toes. Towards the end of that exhale, return to down dog. Lift knees and hips into the air. Nice elongation through spine. Doing the other side. Inhale, extend left leg up into the air. We're going to hold for a moment. Feel the body get longer, moving in opposite directions. Reach. Inhale again. And exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Going to that high lunge. Right heel stays lifted. Find your center. Light hands so you can easily hinge from hips to rise up. Once you're up nice and tall, keep reaching up. Maybe lunge a little deeper. Okay, we're already getting into that right hip flexor stretch and some thigh strength in the front. We are going to go down like we did the other side. Inhale, reach like you're being lifted, but instead go down with the knee. Bend the knee, lightly land. Okay, hands to thigh, flatten the foot back there if you need to. Get the weight away from the front foot. Move that foot forward. Okay. Hands on thigh. We're going to inhale, get tall, lift. Exhale, lunge, going forward. Knee will start to align over the ankle. If it's going past the ankle, then you may want to move this foot forward. Okay. Again, the back bend, if you're nice and tall, along with the hip flexor stretch as you're getting into this deep lunge. Coming down to forearms on thigh to release that back bend. Going lower and deeper if you'd like. Heel toe that left foot out to the side to create space. If you take a peek up here, it's kind of like doing half happy baby pose like this. So that leg is naturally, it's turned out, the knee is pointing out at an angle. Just allows me to go deeper. So you're doing the same thing. You're just, flipped over. Allows you to go a little deeper into that hip. Okay. Again, mindful of your depth and how this feels. Are you overstretching? If so, or if you're not sure, just back off a little. Nice. About 3 more breaths. Nice. If your elbows are on the floor or if you're up high like I am, let's all bring our hands to the mat. Lean to the right so you can release this left leg, swing it back behind you, return to hands and knees, realigning the spine and hips, another series of cat and cow. All right, next inhale will be a cow. Exhale, rounded spine, cat, tuck toes. At the end of that breath, lifting knees and hips to sky, our return to down dog. We're going to set up for pigeon pose. Let's extend right leg up into the air. Bend and twist open. On the exhale, unwind so we can bring the right knee to the floor behind the right wrist, where we angle that right leg in front, yes? We'll set the left knee down on the floor behind that foot. Use the left knee and toes to find center, because we're all weighted forward. So if you just crawl that left leg back, we find center, but also you kind of sink into the sensation. So find your personal depth of this pose. Then inhale as if you're trying to drag yourself forward. Exhale, you can lower your way down, maybe to your hands and arms. Maybe your head reaches the floor. If it doesn't, that's fine. Maybe bring in a block or stack your fists one on top of the other and rest your forehead on the fists. And start to settle into the pose. Notice the sensations. How does this feel? Make any adjustments. The alternative is certainly coming out of this posture, maybe flipping over onto your back and doing that reclined pigeon pose variation we did earlier. Just in case this is maybe a little too much for this leg that you're lying on top of, the ankle, the knee, the hip. And just like with some of our other poses, we moved in opposite directions. So this left leg that's behind us, use the left knee and toes and see if you can extend that leg back towards the back wall. If your head is all the way down, just lift it slightly and try to come forward. Okay, lengthening through the spine, and then just lower your head back down. Create more length, moving into the space you've created so far. Continue your breathing practice. Again, moving out of the posture or shifting as needed, mindful of how this feels for you since we are holding this pose. We're going to take about 3 more breaths here. Technically, we would call this pigeon pose prep, because it prepares us for other variations of pigeon. We're going to do one of them here. From here, using your hands to press and lift your upper body. Hands will probably be in front here for a moment. You can stay at a nice angle here. We're going to reposition your hands so they're by your side. Maybe prop them up onto your fingertips. Elbows may be bent. Okay. We're going to move into kind of that up dog version. Okay, so inhale, push into the floor with the fingers, straightening the arms, lift upper body, and exhaling just to kind of settle in. Okay. You can stay at an angle, just being mindful of your low back. Really deepening that sensation in the left hip flexor. Okay. The farther up and back you go, more of a back bend feel. Inhale. On the exhale, soften. You're going to sit way off to your right side. We're going to bring this left leg around to the front. Bring the soles of your feet together for cobbler's pose or bound angle pose. You can scoop up the toes or hold on to your feet or ankles and just sit up nice and tall. You can stay here on the exhale or maybe a little hinge forward. Just another opportunity to find alignment in the body. Same thing happening on both sides of the body here, as opposed to pigeon pose. The full name of that posture is Ekapada Rajakopatasana. Okay, Eka means one. Okay, Ekapada, one leg. One means one side, basically. So one leg. Ekapada. And then Raja means king, okay? So when we rise up in that back bend version, that's the king, like the king pigeon there. Raja Kobotasana. 2 more breaths. Remember that because there's a quiz after class. We're going to return to boat pose. So if you're folded forward, just rise up, nice lengthened spine. Maybe start leaning back. As you're leaning back, perhaps you're able to bring the knees together, maybe heels out front here. Again, this could be your pose for a boat. We're not going to be here too long. Or float the feet up. We're going to inhale. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front or to the side so you can get your feet and legs back behind you. Long, strong, straight line. Just take a shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees, hips into the air. Okay, other side, pigeon pose prep. Inhale, extend left leg into the sky. Bend and twist, a little hip opener. Then unwind, send left knee to the ground behind the left wrist with an angled leg. It's probably around 45 degrees. If you saw pictures of this pose for the full expression of the posture, that shin is you're at 90 degrees. Yeah, that can be not so great. It doesn't feel all that great. So it's okay if it's at 45 degrees or less. Right knee comes to the floor behind you. Use right knee and toes to crawl back, find center, and find the sensation you want to create. If you need to stay up high, this is fine. Even though you're not close to the floor, maybe bring a block in, tuck it in for a little seat. Inhale if you're still up tall, long spine. Exhale, go forward. Crawl forward. That'll draw you or bring you downward. We'll hold here. Again, settling into the pose, aware of the sensations, make any adjustments. Breathe into this. If this left knee or ankle starts to feel not so great, either adjust the pose or even come out of the posture. Of course, the alternative is to lie on your back into the reclining version. Moving in opposite directions to go a little deeper. Only moving if you feel like you've made some space in your body while you've been here. Right leg, use your right knee and toes. Try to crawl it towards the back wall. It may not move at all or just very little. That's fine. Lifting head, maybe chest. Try to move forward like you're dragging yourself forward just to lengthen spine, and then just come back down. Again, those are minimal movements, but you might feel a significant shift or change in sensation in your body. And if that was a little too much, then soften it. Let's take 3 more breaths here. We're going to move into our Ekapada Rajakopatasana, one-legged King Pigeon Pose. Using your hands to help lift yourself up. Keep this angle in the upper body so you're not in a back bend just yet. Reposition your hands by your side, propped up on fingertips. We'll inhale to lengthen. Push down to lift up. Straight arms perhaps. You can still be at an angle, that's fine, or keep lifting so you're kind of perpendicular to the floor. Heart open. Notice what's happening in the back leg and your low back. Soften if you need to. We're almost done. One more breath. And the exhale to soften. Sit off to your left side. Right leg comes all the way around. Soles of the feet connect back to our bound angle pose or cobbler's pose. Nice and tall. Stay here or fold. Folding, of course, just creates a little bit more sensation in the inner legs and hips. The curvature of the spine, a little stretch in your back. Very good. And just 3 more breaths. If your back is rounded and you're folded forward, to re-extend the spine, just lift the chin, look out past the front edge of your mat. That will start that straightness of the spine, and then just hinge your way back up until you're tall. Okay, no more boat pose. We're just going to lie down here. Okay, so maybe extend the legs. Make sure you're sitting in the center of your mat. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. Draw knees in. Let's take happy baby pose as one more hip opener. So you can just hold onto the knees or shins, kind of take the legs wide. You can even stay just like this. This could be the end of the pose for the inner leg stretch. Or happy baby, kick the feet up towards the ceiling, keeping the knees bent. Reach up if you can, grab hold of the soles of the feet or your ankles. Now you really don't have to push down, just the weight of your hands, okay, on the feet will draw the knees downward, so it'll create the stretch. So you don't have to force this at all. Okay, you can do this with both legs. You can even do one leg at a time. Sometimes one leg at a time, like we did the lunges, it takes you a little deeper into the pose. 2 more breaths. You can release the feet, bring the knees together. Let's take a twist here. Send your knees over to the left side of the room, right arm out to the right side of the room. Settle into this rotation. Since we had those back bends, perhaps this brings a little bit of relief to the low back, your waist, your hips, the sides of your body. Just a couple more breaths here. Now you can certainly return to these poses, these twists, or even just stay here longer. After that second breath, slowly return to center. And then send knees over to the other side. Two more breaths, or stay here longer as needed. When you feel complete, just return to center. Hug the knees into your body. We have a few more minutes, so just decide what you would like to do next from here. Now you can return to happy baby pose or any other hip opener if you'd like. You can return to those twists or something inverted perhaps, maybe shoulder stand or legs in the air. Perhaps even another back bend. You can return to bridge, even wheel pose or fish pose. Really just any movement that the body would appreciate here. It doesn't necessarily have to be a yoga position. Maybe it's just a movement in your body that would feel good. Whenever you feel complete, take your time though. Be sure to spend some quality time in Shavasana or any other restorative pose, a posture or a position that would feel good to you, that does feel relaxing, a disengagement of the body. A place for meditation with little or no distractions from your own body.
Return to the awareness of your breath. Notice your breathing, just as you did at the beginning of your practice, that helped you to settle into the space and prepare for your moving practice. And the breath guided you and supported you in your moving practice, bringing you back here to the space of release and relaxation. And with this awareness of breath, take 5 slow, deep breaths, bringing energy into your body with these breaths. And convert that energy into movement. So start to feel the body move. It might be subtle movements that begin deep within. Perhaps with each breath, let that movement expand outward to the outer body. Easing into movement. Notice how you feel. When you're ready, taking your time, perhaps roll slowly onto one side of your body, just into a nurturing pose for a moment. Then from here, press yourself up to seated. No rush. Move in slow motion as you're able, sitting up nice and tall. Just a nice lengthened spine, relaxed shoulders. At first, your hands might just be resting in your lap or on your knees, relaxed arms. Then one last movement together. We'll inhale, extend your arms into the air. And with the exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Taking one more full and complete breath here on your own. And as we come to the close of this practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.